Good morning, good morning, good morning. And this is the day that the Lord has made. And let us rejoice and let us be glad. And it's so good to see you this morning. Man, the comments are already coming in, and I'm so happy that you've tuned in on this Thursday morning to the Hope TV. What a privilege and what a unique honor it is to have this opportunity to share with you in this space. And I'm honored. I praise God for you, and I thank you for your support. Everybody who's tuned in, whether it's Apple TV, Roku, Twitch, Amazon, Fire TV, whether it's Facebook, I see you guys already commenting, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, whether you're watching through Dewey Smith website, the Dewey Smith website, the House of Hope Atlanta website, the House of Hope West Point website, or whether you're watching through the Hope TV website, is also the HTV Now website. However you're viewing, welcome. Good to see you this morning, Ruby Wilson from Chattanooga. And if you're watching through a platform that will let you send us a link to let us know, or send us a message to let us know how you're viewing, drop me a line like Ruby just did, like Brian just spoke. Good morning. Say it back to us. Don't be rude. Say it back. Good morning. Somebody speaks to you. I'm from the South. You say it back. And so good morning, Brian Ward. God bless you. And I'm so thankful that you're here, and I appreciate you for being a part. Everybody who's here, just God blessings to you. And drop us a line. Let us know the city and the state and the country from whence you're viewing. It means the world to us. I'm just so thankful and so privileged that you're here, and pray God's blessings on you. Good morning, Tina Williams from Fort Valley, Georgia. God bless you. That's in Middle Georgia, where I'm from, our stomping ground. So thank you so very much, everybody who's tuned in. I'm thankful that you're here, and it means the world to me that you're here. We don't take your viewership lightly. I mean, there's so much content now on the internet, so many places you can spend your time. Good morning, Ron Lester, from Dr. Lester from Loganville. God bless you. Home for summer break, guys. One of our educators in Gwinnett County here. Been with me for a long time. Matter of fact, was a student at Fort Valley. God bless you, Dr. Lester. Good to see you this morning, brother. I'm still trying to find your wife too. We're gonna find you that wife, Dr. Lester, and we're gonna be matched. We're gonna find that wife for you in Jesus' name. And so I'm so thankful that you're here, and I appreciate you being a part. Everybody. So drop me a line. Let me know the city, state, and country from whence you're viewing. And it's a blessing to have you here with us. And if you're watching through a platform that will allow you to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share, please consider doing so. Every time you subscribe, you can get notifications as to when new content is uploaded, and that's important. And your likes are important. They help us with our algorithms and our engagements. Those social media platforms are always changing the algorithms. Um, there's a way some of the program is monetized, and you can get monetization based upon views and engagements to help you with your cost. And so they always change it because they don't want to do that. And so they try to keep you from getting it. So long, Andrew. Good. God bless you from Swanee, Georgia. God bless you. My son plays in Swanee, Georgia all the time at the sports complex. We got to drive way up there almost every weekend. God bless you. And so the like button is important because it helps us with our engagements, helps us with our algorithms. So keep hitting that like button. If you're on YouTube, come out of the live chat, hit the like button, go back in. Good morning, Olivia Young. Comments. Those comments are important. The comments help us with our engagements as well as determining the algorithm and affecting the algorithm, and also those shares. My goodness, those share buttons, those shares help us to get exponential growth capability to be put in front of other places, other eyes. So man, however you can subscribe, like, comment, and share, that will be preeminently helpful to us here at the Hope TV. Amazingly, we started this platform in March of 2020. It was around this time, 15 months ago, when I shared the vision with our team about what the Lord had shown me relative to the future and relative to how we we're going to minister, throughout the pandemic. Good morning, Jack Christina Jackson from East St. Louis. Um, and I shared it with them 15 months ago. And to God be the glory of the team and Brother Aladdin, they got behind it and put some of the pieces in place and trained some of the team members. And here we are 15 months later. Hope TV is stronger than ever before. And I got a shout out. Good morning. Good morning, Coach T. Good morning. Root to the good bros. And we 15 months into this, and God has been so good and so kind and so gracious. And really, God was letting us see into the future. And we've been working on this whole piece for a long time in terms of church and having a presence outside of the four walls. And here we are now. And we're here to stay. And this is where ministry and discipleship and Christian content is going. So I'm here, and I'm honored to have you here with us. And I'm gonna get started in a moment, but let me take a few moments just to address a few things first and make a couple of comments. First of all, I need to shout out our media team. I would be remiss if I didn't do it, and it would be shameful if I didn't do it. We've had 43 people working on this media team, and their efforts have been beyond phenomenal. And Hope TV, the original content, the countless hours of programming, it's amazing. Good morning, Gwen Owens from Ellenwood, and I'm grateful to them. I really, really am, and because they caught the vision, and people all over the world. I'm talking to pastors everywhere. They want to know, get insight into where do we go from here from a ministry perspective. And having walked through this experience myself, it's empowered me to kind of share with others on how to kind of make ministry do a little different things. And so it's almost like it's kind of put me in the forefront. I'm doing a lot of conferences, a lot of panels and conversations about this because people are interested in it, and I'm thankful for that. And I've been doing it for a while. And the second thing I want to talk about is not only was the Hope TV built from scratch, from a meager idea over the past 15 months, but we also been doing media productions. Our Sunday worship services, they've been producing those. We've been producing, special services throughout the year. Our 11th anniversary celebration, our 144th church anniversary celebration, our Christmas special, um, our New Year's Eve, our watch night service. Thank you, Vicky. We did something um, for Black History. They did just the most recent one was the Easter program, um, the youth program last week. We recorded things for Selena Johnson, Leandria Johnson, Ted Wynn, Darius Paul, Zebulon Ellis, Q Parker, Hill America, um, the Darren Pace homegoing celebration. So on top of, we recorded things for Fox Soul. So on top of the Hope TV, other stuff that our media ministry has done. Every week it's just really, we recorded things for New Birth and Dr. Bryant. First Iconium with Dr. Timothy McDonald. So it's been amazing, and they followed the vision. You're right, Tina. And recently, our one of our productions and services was considered for what's called the Telly Award. And the two largest awards for TV, of course, are the Emmy Awards. That's for TV that's on a major network. The second major award for TV is called the Telly Awards. And by the God be the glory. That's right. And by the grace of God, family, our first time ever being considered for these awards, first time ever. Our 144th church anniversary celebration was so different and so unique that it was submitted and considered for a Telly Award. And do you know that we won 3 awards? All 3 categories that it was placed in, we won. Yeah, you can win a gold, bronze, and a silver, and in 3 different categories, we won something. We didn't win the gold in any of them, but we won a bronze in 2. That was for directing and production in a budget category, because they have the productions based upon big budget, middle budget, small, but so they have budget categories. So we won a bronze in directing and a bronze in the production in our category, and won a silver in another production category. So here we are. 15 months of doing amazing work for the glory of God. And I just can't move on without shouting at our team and everybody from Hope TV to the media team, everybody who played a part in this, from music to directing to everything. So it's, you're right. So I'm excited about it. I want to just shout out our team. The press release was issued yesterday, and I just got to shout them out because without them, this wouldn't be possible. And everybody from Hope TV to the production team to programming and production departments of our ministry, God bless you, because our programming and production departments have been second to none. And I mean that. I don't care who you are, where you go in the country. The past 15 months, our production and programming departments of our media ministry have been second to nobody. And so to God be the glory. I'm honored. I wish y'all just could see this little heart of mine. Just filled with so much joy and so much gratitude to our media team, for the Hope TV, to the media team, production and programming. We love you guys. Thank you so much, Benton and Kim. Just all you and the whole staff, everybody, man, just for doing it. Taja, Tasha, Quinika, um, Keiki. I don't want to, everybody who's on this squad. Love y'all and thank y'all so much for doing this, for carrying out the vision. Without vision, the people perish. But without people, the vision perishes. So just like you got to have vision. Without vision, people perish. But without people, vision perishes. So thank you. I'm so renewed. I'm so refreshed. I feel like I got a second win. So God bless you for that. And on top of that, um, we also release music during this season. God's like, what would you do if you had time? What are some things that have been in your heart and your spirit and your vision that you haven't done? Because one of the things that has been killing me not, I don't mean that really literally, I hate to use that word, but it's been affecting me and bothering me. And the Lord's like, the question that you got to ask yourself is, a lot of things that you're doing, did I tell you to do them? What did I give you vision to do? And at the end of the day, here's a question. If it's not in your vision, then why is it on your calendar? I'm going to say it again. If it's not in your vision, why is it not on your calendar? And so I had to look and see, what did God give me as a vision? And do you know the things that I've been in there, haven't walked in, the things that we pushed out there? So everything we've been trying to do the past 15 months, all of it's been vision based. And God is just honoring it and blessing it. And my mom would always tell me, and I never understood it when I was a boy, she would say, everything you touch, if you put your hands on it, God's going to bless it. She said, whatever you touch. My mom would always tell me that. From the time I was 14, 15 till the time I was grown and she left, she would always say this. She said, when you put your hands on something, God's going to make sure it's blessed. And I didn't get that as a boy. But she would always say that, always say that, always say that. And I'm so thankful that I'm hearing what she meant. And when God gives it to you, put your hands on it. So to God be the glory for them. And then we also, thank you. You saw my interview. We also released music, started our label, and we in our record label in March, and we released 2 musical projects since March, 2 singles. Both of them have hit Billboard. My single now is coming on down. I think we're nearing the top 40. So it's called Your Presence is a Gift. It's amazing. Picking up all over the nation. Was added on XM Radio, Kirk Franklin's Praise, and they added it, so it's in the rotation there, man. And program managers are calling me from everywhere. So I'm to God be the glory. So keep us lifted. Your Presence is a Gift, and also the other single of our artist that we signed, Pastor Courtney Franklin. We made it. Climbing the charts as well, getting added all over the country as well. So both singles are doing well. Both have made the Billboard's most added list already. And we're talking about just in 3 months, guys. So a brand new label that's 3 months old. First 2 singles that have been released, both of them have made Billboard. You can't tell me there's nobody but God. So on top of the media pieces, the music piece that's been in my heart is all coming to fruition. So did I say to God be the glory. So thank you for your support. All right, let's get started today. I had to get that off, but y'all forgive me for. I thank y'all for indulging me. I just got to talk about it because it's that's right. If it's not in your vision, why is it on your calendar? I think that's something all of us can apply. Because a lot of times we do stuff that God didn't tell us to do that, or who put it on there? And then you end up all boggled down and depressed and stressed and burnt out because you're doing stuff that's not in your vision. Even if it's a good idea. So we just got to be a little more wise, okay? So if it's not in your vision, why is it on your calendar? All right? So to God be the glory. So my mama said if I put my hands on something, it's going to turn out, God's going to bless it. So let me try to put my hands on this text today as we get started. We've gone through the books of Philippians and Colossians, and Colossians was so rich, and I want to thank you for walking through Colossians with us. And today we're going to start a new series today, Promises Out of the Pandemic. Watch you preaching, Tina. And so today we're going to start a series. We're going through the book of Galatians. We're going through Galatians, and the Lord said, go through the book of Galatians. So we hit Philippians, we hit Colossians. I don't know why we're going this order, but I'm just going to follow what's in my spirit. We're going through the book of Galatians. We're going to go verse by verse. Some good stuff there. We'll be here for a couple of months, but we're going to just take it and go through it. Let me give you a little background on Galatia. Galatians, that's the adjective. Galatia is the place. The book of Galatians, it was written to the churches of the Galatians. Just a little background on Galatians. Galatia comes about around the 3rd century BC. Around 3rd century BC, name in honor of the Gauls and the Celtic origins. So you had a lot of those people that are Celts and the Gauls. So that's where it gets its name from. Galatia is, we would call it present day Turkey. It's modern day Turkey. We want to keep it relative out for our context. So it's modern day Turkey. What they call Galatia, we call that area Turkey. Paul would visit the regions of like Pamphylia, Lystra, and Derbe, Bithynia. Bithynia is These are some of the bordering territories. When you read the book of Acts, around the 16th chapter, you see, Paul would visit Bithynia, and he'd go to Lystra and Derbe and Iconium. These were some kind of corresponding territories to Galatia, Cappadocia, but Lystra, Iconium, Derbe, Bithynia, Pontus. These areas were kind of in proximity. So when you read some certain scriptures in Acts, I go through some of them on Tuesday, but it just kind of give you the region of where it is, so you can kind of envision it in your mind when it talks about Galatia. So around the third century comes along under the Gauls. It's Celtic origins and cultures there. It's modern day Turkey, and so Paul writes to address them because he would visit them. There's several kind of possibilities, several different views as to when he wrote to them. You have like a northern Galatian view, which says he wrote after he left. Another view, the southern Galatian view, says he wrote them as he was on his way coming there. So different views as to when it was written. It's dated anywhere between 40, 50, or 60 AD. Probably one of his earlier writings, Galatia, the book of Galatians. And so he did visit that area, and we have biblical evidence. So it's modern day Turkey. Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Dina. Present day Turkey. What else can I say about Galatia? Why did he write it? Let me kind of get right to that. And I'll be giving you some little nuggets each week, but I just want to kind of set it up for you. Y'all know I'm like jump into it. I'm giving you the background. So that's some background on the place, some of the culture, some of the history of it. The challenge that necessitated the writing. Why did Paul write it? Paul was trying to address something that happened shortly after he had left Galatia, whether it was, Lystra, Derbe, or areas Bithynia. Shortly after he left, talking about, and his mission was to bring the gospel to the Gentiles, the non-Jewish believers. That's really what his ministry was about. He went on 3 missionary journeys throughout these territories. He was trying to bring it to non-Jewish believers. So if you weren't a Jew, you were a Gentile. Paul wanted people to know that the gospel just was not for the Jews. It also was for the Gentiles. So after he left the churches or the region of Galatia, talking to them about Christ and grace and how Gentiles could be saved, shortly after leaving, legalists came back in. And what they were we call it legalism or legalist. And these legalist sympathizers, these Jewish legalists, they tried to come back and basically correct Paul. Or they tried to come back and say what Paul told y'all was wrong. And what they wanted, whereas Paul was telling them it was by grace that they had to be saved. That's what Paul was telling them through Jesus, to the non-Jews. These Jewish legalizers or sympathizers, these legalists came back and said, no. Even though y'all Gentile, if y'all gonna be saved, y'all got to you got to be circumcised. If you're gonna be saved like us, you got to participate in the Jewish rituals and the Mosaic covenant. So Paul was trying to get them out of legalism and religion to let people know that circumcision was for the Jews only, as a spiritual purpose. That circumcision doesn't have anything to do with your relationship with Christ, that you can be saved without it. They were like, no. They were like, no. In order to be saved, you got to be born again through the Mosaic law. So this is what they were saying. So Paul had some challenges with that. He's like, wait a minute, y'all got this all wrong. No, it has nothing to do with whether or not you have been circumcised. Paul, like, y'all got it all wrong. It's not about circumcision here. It's not about the Jewish covenants or Jewish rituals. Paul's like, y'all got to give your life to the Lord Jesus. And so as a consequence, that was a schism. So the Jews were saying Paul was wrong, and so it was a lot of confusion. They didn't know whether do I need Jesus and something else? Do I need Jesus and the law? Do I need Jesus and the Mosaic covenant? Do I need Jesus and the Jewish rituals? Or is Christ alone? So the Galatian people were in trouble. They were in some serious trouble. They were basically saying, "What Paul don't know what he's talking about. Who is he? Um, we don't. This dude, he don't. He's a Johnny come lately. Even though he's a Jew, but he don't have authority to come and say yada 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 yada." So there was a lot of confusion going on. So that was the main thrust that propelled Paul to write Galatians. And so I hope y'all got that. Now, I'll be hitting it each week. Every time we talk about it, I'll give you a little background. I'll drop some more on it, but I want to give you a little basic setup. Now, on Tuesday we talked about how to end a chapter. You know, when you're ending the chapter. Today I want to talk about. Lord, here's a topic the Lord gave me today. Let's get started. No, let's get started. It's time to get started. And so we talked about how if you missed Tuesday, go get it. I think it was amazing in terms of just this season we're in and where God is trying to take us. And if you're in some weird seasons, professionally, spiritually, relationally. So we closed Colossians Tuesday on how to end that chapter because it was the end of the book. It was the last chapter. One verse that was very rich. God said, it blessed me. I hope it blessed y'all. But today we're going to start a new chapter, a new book. So just the imagery there of ending and starting. So let's get started. And so Paul here is getting started on a new journey, a new chapter, a new season, a new book, a new dimension, a new level, a new assignment, new clarity, new focus. He's trying to stabilize something new with people that he had once been he'd been connected with, but trying to make sure it's tight, trying to make sure that nothing else has got in there and messed up something that was tight. Because that's how the devil would do sometimes. If you're not careful, sometimes we'll play on your emotions and mess up something that's on its way somewhere higher, but you don't hear it. And so Paul is is getting started to straighten some stuff out to solidify it, right? And there are three things I'm going to tell you about when you're getting started, when you're trying to start a new chapter. Three things that are very, very important. I want to hit it for you quick. And the first thing is when you get put the scripture up there for me. I'm just going to do one passage today. It's just too much. I can't rush through it. The NIV says, Paul, an apostle sent not from men, nor by man, but by Jesus Christ and God the Father, who raised him from the dead. That's it. That's all I can deal with today. It's a new chapter. He closed Colossians out with favor. He's gonna start this chapter with favor. But as he gets started, it was the sentiments of this verse for me convey something. That's what you thank you. The sentiments of this chapter, of this verse rather, I think can be applied to every area of life. That when God has you on assignment, when God's giving you a task or a charge or responsibility, doing something new, something fresh, when God is taking you somewhere. As you get started, what Paul conveys in this one verse are things we all need. If you're starting a business, if it was me starting Hope TV, starting this record label, getting ready to start going back to worship, public worship in a few months. Whatever it is, as you're getting started, starting a marriage, whatever you're doing, Paul says when you get started, there are several things that must be evident. Okay? I'm going to lift three things. I'm going to let you go. All right? As Paul starts this new journey with the Galatians and trying to straighten out these Judaizers, these legalizers, the first thing you got to have when you get started is awareness of your person. Awareness of your own personhood. Awareness of your person. You have Sometimes it's called self-awareness. Awareness of your person. Awareness of who you are is vital. If you get started with something and start a new chapter and you don't know who you are when you get started, that's a dangerous place to be in. Woo. It's dangerous psychologically, it's dangerous spiritually, it's dangerous mentally, it can be dangerous physically. Whenever you embarking upon something and you don't have that awareness, it can be problematic. Let me share the self-awareness or the awareness of this person in this text. And it's really, really simple. I'm really embarrassed by the text, but sometimes we miss it because it's so clear. And I'm going to take my time and just dissecting. Yeah, it's awareness of your person. Look what he says in Galatians 1:1. Just look at the first three words. Paul, an apostle. One version it says, I, Paul. I, Paul, an apostle. One who was selected. That word apostle in the Greek is the word apostolos, which means messenger. It says Paul, an apostle. Paul, an apostle. Thank you for that. Let me deal with that. Paul, an apostle. You've had a few scholars to try to suggest that this wasn't written by Paul, just a few, early on. But when the manuscripts were all read and all the analysis went on, it's one of those books that is almost nearly impossible to question or deny the authorship of it. This is on the research that scholars have done on the manuscript and Paul's writings. I'll tell you more about that Tuesday. But what I like about this, a lot of times in what we call authentic Pauline literature, is there's always a salutation, and he identifies himself. And that's a standard practice of Pauline literature. And so here's the salutation. I'll talk to you about it more Tuesday. That's a greeting. And he identifies himself. And that's what you see in authentic Pauline literature versus Deutero-Pauline literature. And so he says, Paul, an apostle. Now, this is important to know because often Paul's apostleship was regularly questioned. I mean, and he talked about it. In several books, he had to defend his own apostleship. I'll talk more about that throughout this whole thing. So Paul is really writing on the back burner of knowing that many question who he is. Where you come from. We know where you came from. And Paul in 1 Timothy talks about, he says in that 12 through 17 verse, hey, I was a persecutor. I was injurious. He said, I was a blasphemer. He said, but I did it all ignorantly. So Paul even acknowledges what they acknowledge. That they acknowledge his past. He's the main one who helped persecute the church in the book of Acts. And yet in Acts 7 and Acts chapter 8, but how in Acts chapter 9 his life was transformed. But even though his life got transformed in Acts chapter 9, people never let go of Acts chapter 7 and Acts chapter 8. And isn't that amazing about people? No matter how many chapters you have after Acts chapter 9, no matter how many books you write after Acts chapter 9, no matter how many places you visit, no matter how many books you write, no matter how many times you preach after Acts chapter 9, there are some people who only remember your Acts chapter 7 and your Acts chapter 8. And it's something, I don't know if it's something about the nature of the tendency of human beings. I don't know if sometimes people feel good about themselves. And what people do sometimes is they don't like themselves. They don't like your life. They don't like themselves. So in order to make them feel better about themselves, they find the ability to put blight on somebody else. But listen, unscrewing somebody else's light bulb would never make yours shine brighter. I said again, unscrewing somebody else's light bulb will never make your light bulb shine brighter. And so Paul, for the majority of his ministry, had to always defend who he was. How you weren't even with Jesus. How you an apostle? So that was always the case. But what I love about Paul is Paul was clear on people really believe that others can change because they're not. That's a good point. They don't believe it. What I love about Paul is he did not allow the doubts or the questions and the side eyes of other folk. You know, they said that's what they say now. It's young people, I'm gonna give you a side eye. You know, I'm like, really. Paul was often side eyed in the first century, but he did not allow the side eye of others to make him take his eye off the omnipotent. That'll preach. That's a T-shirt. He didn't let the side eye of others make him take his eyes off of the omnipotent. He kept his eyes on the omnipotent even when he was side-eyed by others. And what I love about it is he's so clear on who he is. He's so clear on who he is. He knows who he is. There's awareness. And here's why. Paul knew when he stepped into a room, he brought value. You better know that, because some people will make you think that you don't bring, I know when I come, I know I want to bring joy and energy. I know when I step into a place, I know if I step into a ministry, God sent me there to make a difference. I know my job is to build, uproot, to pluck out, to tear down, to give hope. I know that. And just because somebody says they don't like me or they don't like my ministry, I'm not their cup of tea. If just because somebody may not approve of my ministry or like my ministry, their disapproval of my ministry, or their dislike or lack of appreciation for my ministry doesn't change my ministry. Sometimes what people do is we try to adjust and adapt who we are to fit others. The moment the moment your presence doesn't bless or people don't appreciate it, that's the moment that place is no longer for you. Every time I try to be connected with somebody, or touch somebody, my job is to make them better. My job is to add value. I don't devalue nothing. My job is not to devalue. My job is to build up. God, my mama told me, whatever you touch, it's gonna be better. It's to make it should be better after I was a part of it than be worse. Some people are builders. Some people are maintainers. Some people are decliners. I know some pastors, they go into a place that it's gonna be built. Some pastors, they don't have a gift of building. You have to give it to them. They have to maintain it. So it takes a special anointing to build. Some people just maintain. And then some leaders they're decliners. That's just three categories of pastors and people. You're builders, you're a maintainer, or you're decliner. There's some pastors, you put them in a room with nothing and come back and yell at it, it's going to be something. They're builders. There's some pastors you put in a room, they're gifted, but they're not gifted to build. They get in a room, they get discombobulated, they get mad at you because they can't build. Because you put somebody who was not anointed to build in a building situation. Some people have to be given everything. You have to put it together and then put it in their hands. And if you put it in their hands, they can hold on to it. They can hold on to it and keep it going. Then now some people, you put it in their hands, or whatever you put in their hands, they're gonna drop it. It's gonna decline. I know I'm a builder, and my job is to make something better and appreciate. And if somebody doesn't, and that's who I'm been called to be. When I'm a builder, I've been called to do that. And in doing that, it does not mean that everybody's gonna like what you do or appreciate who you are. But their lack of appreciation shouldn't change your destiny. I know who I am. And one way you know that the space is not for you is when people can't see your value. When people think that your presence doesn't build them or doesn't encourage them or doesn't add value to them, then you ought to go where you celebrate it and not go where you tolerate it. Too many of us go where tolerate it and don't go where celebrate it. And so, and sometimes you knock your head, you keep beating on the door, trying to get in a place, trying to make somebody, affirm you or desire you. Can't. And that means that place is not for you. Because God has too much in you for you to cast your prayer before swine or be connected to a place where people can't see your value or your worth. And Paul realized that there are some people who don't see my worth, but it doesn't change my witness. My assignment is not determined by your approval. I know who I am. And let me tell you something. If you don't know who you are when you're starting, That's a problem, because if you don't know who you are, people will tell you who you are. And if you don't know who you are, you'll try to go in there and fit what everybody else has desired and wants you to be. And when you don't know who you are, you never can be who you are. So failure to know who you are means you're trying to be something else. And when you're always trying to be something else, when you don't know I am an apostle, it doesn't matter if you didn't see me with Jesus. It doesn't matter what you think about me. It doesn't matter if you don't think I qualify. It doesn't matter if you know what I did in my past. It doesn't matter if my mistakes were blaring. It doesn't matter if I made a fool out of myself. It doesn't matter if I got into some stuff that was ugly and untoward. It doesn't matter if you don't think I had a character and integrity for it, because you didn't call me. And that's why when you get started in something, I've seen people get started. I've seen women get started in relationships, and I know who they are, and they try to become everything the man wants them to be. I've seen, if you were jovial and you like laughter, and you like comedy and you like to laugh and you're silly, well, why would you marry somebody who don't like you to be silly, who can't accept that? If you are a man, and I know one of my colleagues one of my classmates from Morehouse, this is a true story. He met a girl and he liked her, and she didn't eat, she stopped eating meat. This is a true story. And he told her he didn't eat meat. And, and she didn't eat chicken. He wasn't going to eat chicken. It's a true story. And he married her. And up until about 5 years, they've been married, right at 20 years probably. And up until I know about 5 years ago, like 4 years ago, do you know he was still eating chicken wings? It's a true story. So, but he would never eat them in her presence. And be eating chicken wings, she would kill him. She knew I was doing it. How, what did, I, if she can't handle you eat chicken wings, this is true. This is a true story. If you married to a woman and can't tell the truth about eating chicken wings, what in the Gehenna? That means she don't accept you. You're not even being you. So if you lie about chicken wings, what won't you lie about? How can you have that kind of pressure? This is a true story. And so I just think your credentials and your qualifications and that self-awareness, when you get started, know who you are. Know Abraham Maslow, in his Maslow has this thing called hierarchy of needs. And he says, Maslow's old, some of y'all took psychology and as a major. Maslow says that we have this need for approval, of belonging, affirmation. Abraham Maslow, check him out. He was a great psychologist. That we have this human need for affirmation, and people will do anything because we love being affirmed. But when the need for affirmation becomes greater than self-awareness of who you are without affirmation, affirmation should encourage you. Affirmation should lift you. Affirmation should say continue. Affirmation should never be an identifier of who you are. The affirmation or the lack thereof has nothing to do with awareness. Awareness has to come before affirmation, because if you're led more by affirmation than awareness, you're doomed already. You're never going to finish. It's not going to work, because the need for affirmation is greater than your awareness. But when you have awareness, even though you can desire affirmation, you can make it if you ain't got it. Woo! Because ultimately, all you want to hear him say one day is, well done, thy good and faithful servant. But when the drive for affirmation becomes greater than the awareness of your own person. And that's why I love Paul, because Paul is clear here. I know who I am, regardless of what y'all say about me. And I am who Marvin Sapp wrote a song once. He saw the best in me when everyone else around me can only see the worst in me. So knowing who you are. So when you get started today in this new chapter, this new season, you better know who you are. As we go back to church, I know, the confidence. Even this music thing, I was like, oh, can I do this? And God's, who are you? How are you talking? And that's not, and that's the difference between being aware and being arrogant. You don't boast in yourself. The psalmist says, my soul shall make her boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear thereof. So you can boast in the Lord. When you know who you are and know who God is, and God's giving you an assignment, you can walk in boldness. Not arrogance, not conceit, not cockiness, but in boldness. You come to the throne boldly. He said, let us come to the throne boldly to obtain mercy and find grace to help in our time of need. That's Hebrews 4:15 and 16. So I can go to God boldly. Not only can I go to God boldly in confidence, I can carry out my assignment boldly when I know who I am. Paul said, I am an apostle. I'm no longer a blasphemer. I'm no longer a persecutor. I'm no longer injurious. I know who I am. And wherever I go, I'm gonna be an apostle. I'm gonna bring hope. I'm gonna lift places. And that thing blessed me because I needed to hear that in this season. When you go to a place and your presence doesn't affirm or lift anymore, then you know at that moment that place is not for you. Don't be anywhere that you're not desired. Don't be anywhere where you're not celebrated. If you just tolerate it, don't be there. And stop trying to make people love you. Stop trying to make people desire you and want you to be part. Don't do that, because it's not gonna work. Inevitably, it's not gonna work because you're not with God. Because that person will never see your value. And a person that doesn't see what you bring to the table is never gonna respect you. They don't. They can respect things from you, but respect you in your presence. When you know who you are, people, it's an honor to be connected with you. It's an honor, it's a joy. And Paul knew that. I know who I am. I'm not gonna let your lack of I'm not gonna let your lack of approval or affirmation make me no longer become self-aware. He has awareness of his person. Point two, we move on. So not only are you gonna get started, it was cleansing that way. It was cleansing in that way. Oh God, I know who I am. So when you have the awareness of your person, as you get started this new chapter where God is calling you, the second thing I want you to have as you get started, don't force this, is acknowledgement of the role of people. Acknowledgement of the role of people. Acknowledgement of the role of people. What role do people play in this new season, in this new chapter? What role do people play in this? I know who I am. I'm aware. I'm apostle. I'm here to build. I'm here to add value. I'm here to help others go higher. I'm here to appreciate my surroundings and my society. When I'm in the room, I expect for it to be better. When I'm in the room, I expect the stress to be relieved. When I'm in the room, I expect the problems to solve. When I'm in the room, I expect things to get better. When I'm in the room, I expect it to get brighter. That doesn't mean it's perfect. But when I show up, things should get better. When I show up, people should be happy. When I show up, I'm supposed to bring hope with me, not hurt and hell with me. When you know who you are. That's an awareness of your person. He knows who he is. Doesn't need that. But then when you get started, not only awareness of the person, but acknowledgement of the role of people. Put the scripture up there. I'm almost finished. He acknowledges the role of people. I'm almost finished. Put Galatians 1:1. So Paul, an apostle. That's awareness of his person. But then acknowledgement of the role of people. He says it is. Here's how I acknowledge the role of people. Sent not from men, nor by man. Sent not from men, nor by man. I've been sent I haven't been sent from men, nor by man. Nobody can take credit for my being here. I'm not here because I'm here to play patch with anybody. I'm not here to kiss up. I'm not here. Where I am in my life now, he says, this is why it's important to acknowledge the role of people. Because if you think man is responsible for your being there, if man can take responsibility for your being there, then man can take responsibility for your not being there. That's why it's so important that You understand the role of people. Oh God, you're not there because a man put you there. A group or a committee because somebody said that. Hmm? People can be there to help you accomplish it, but they're not responsible for you being there. Promotion has never come from the east nor the west nor the south. It comes from above. The king's heart is in the hand of God. He can turn it how he will. When you realize that where you are in your life, that a human being didn't put you there, stop letting people hold their thumb on you, as if to suggest that you need them. Man, learn the blessing of deuces. Learn how to throw them deuces. Peace to you. Because there's so many people who really think you can't make it without them. I mean, really. And I think that's somebody said earlier, this whole pandemic has been cleansing. Because maybe God has let you, maybe God is showing you who helps you and what you can live without. Mm-hmm. Maybe God, and you got to be honest with yourself. Maybe God is showing you exactly what can you live without. Maybe you've authorized or put value in things and had a certain expectation. And when you got down, they didn't turn your call. They were with you as long as you could benefit them. But when you couldn't benefit them no longer, they jetted on you. And some people think by walking out your life that your whole thing, that you're going to crumble, that you're going to fall. They're with you when things are good, things get bad, they throw up deuces in a minute. But that's a reminder that sometimes God tell you, you didn't need them in the first place. They were there to compliment you. They weren't there to complete you. They don't center you. They didn't call you. Your commitment or qualification didn't come from them. So you can appreciate people. Nothing wrong with appreciating people, but you don't put them in a place of adoration. They're there to compliment. You did not get where you are because of a person. A person takes responsibility for your call, then they take responsibility for how you're gonna continue. Not by man. Not by man. That's so important too for people who feel like I can't be if I ain't got a man in my life. Or I ain't got a woman in my life. Paul says, I know who I am, and that has nothing to do with another man or another woman. I want to talk to all the single people for a reason. Never lose sight of yourself based upon who's in your life. Paul says, I'm good, I know who I am, and a man did help me determine that. Because if he helps me to determine that when he comes in my life, then I may lose it when he leaves my life. So that'll compliment you, but you're calling and you're centered in who you are. They can appreciate you and help you go higher. Are you listening to me here? They can appreciate and help you call it, but they can't dictate it. I just said something. A man or woman can appreciate your calling and your person, but they can't dictate it. Stop letting people dictate who you are. They can appreciate it, they can bring value, they can take it higher, but they can't dictate it. Paul says, I'm good, I know who I am, and that ain't based on no other man or no other group. I'm good, I know who I am. Young lady, you are a queen. And your queendom, your queenship is not based on if the king is there right now. You're going to be a queen regardless of whether he comes in your life or not. What do you think you are? That you don't become a queen unless you got him? So he makes you a queen and you're no longer a queen once he leaves? Nah. The Queen of England is still the queen and she's not even married. Yeah, maybe she once was, but she ain't now. And she's still a queen. Man, be happy. If there's a single fella, don't let your happiness, don't let your joy be terminal. Don't let people want what's in your pocket, but don't want you. You know, people want what they want. You know, don't let that happen to you. Don't let that happen. You know, if they can't, your person. People love the good stuff, but not the stuff that go along with it. You know what I mean? So you got to be strong enough to know who you are. And I hope I'm here. I hope somebody's hearing me here. All right. One more thing. I'll let y'all go. So when you get started today, awareness of your person, acknowledgement of the role of people. You put those points up there. So that's what you got to have. You got to have the awareness of your own person, the acknowledgement of the role of people. But then third and finally, you need authorization. And that's a very, very key point. Authorization of your purpose. You need awareness of your person, acknowledgement of the role of people, but then authorization of your purpose. Put this scripture back up there. It's all here in this one verse. Thank you. Look at that. Look at that. That's the three principles I want to live for you. I'm out of here. Awareness of your person. I Paul. Acknowledgement of the role of people. I'm not here because of a man or a woman or a group or this who said this in my family. No. But then authorization of purpose. Who authorized purpose? Put the verse back up there. I'm finished. Who authorized the purpose? Put the whole verse back up there. Paul, an apostle. That's awareness of person. You can't get started unless you know this. Don't even try to get started until you get this cleared up first, because it's going to be a long journey. You're going to waste time, money, resources. You're going to be hurt. You got to get clarity first of all who you are. Not sent from men nor by man. That's acknowledgement of the role of people. But then here's the authorization of purpose. I am who I am, not by man or group, but by Jesus Christ and God the Father, who raised him from the dead. He said, so here is why I'm here to get started. I'm here because Jesus saved me. I'm here because God created me. Jesus is my Savior. God is my creator. And that's why I'm here. I'm here because I got a God who created me. I got a Jesus who redeemed me. And I'm here because God raised Jesus from the dead. That's my purpose. And I realize that the moments I may feel dead and maybe I may feel down, the same God who raised Jesus. My purpose has been authorized by God, my creator, and by Jesus, my redeemer. And if I happen to fall along the way, if I happen to experience a crucifixion and an assassination, if my stuff is self-imposed, even if I bring pitiful mess in my own life, I didn't authorize my purpose. So if I didn't authorize my purpose, I can't euthanize my purpose. If I didn't authorize my purpose, I can't euthanize it. That means I can't kill it. He didn't have to begun a good work in me. And that's what I want you to realize this. And I like that last clause, who raised him from the dead. That's so important, because sometimes you're getting started, you're going to fall. People make you fall. You may cry, but the tears should make you forget who you are. And when you experience those crucifixion and assassination moments, God knows I've had everything happen. I've had so many assassination attempts all the time by people closest to you. Your enemy can't get close enough to you to hurt you. Most of the time that was attacked is somebody who's close to you, and a lot of times with pastors, there's another preacher involved. Oh, I had so many assassination attempts. But I'm telling you, but when God is with you, since you didn't authorize your purpose, you can't euthanize it. You know, when a dog is sick, they can take him to be euthanized. That means a good death. You're going to put the dog to death. That's what euthanasia is. It's called good death. Eu meaning good. Thanatos meaning death. Euthanatos in Greek. We call it euthanasia. Euthanize. You euthanize a dog, that means you kill him. You euthanize a horse, that means you give him a good death. He's been sick, go on and kill him. Listen, you didn't authorize your purpose, so you can't euthanize it. You can't kill it. Because all things work together for good to them that love God and to those who are called according to his purpose. And that's why you got to go with that declaration. Jesus has been with me. An authorization from God. You got it. If he gave you a purpose, you can do it. Once you get your authorization and your clarity from him, you go forth and you don't stop. I hope y'all got this. Let's get started. We can get started. Time to start a new chapter. It's time to start some new business. It's time to start a new endeavor in life. Time to reconnect with the things that you may have messed up. You know, don't lose what's been there. Don't lose what is appreciated. But I hope y'all hear me. Don't let your emotions get you so discombobulated that you can't tell what's good and what's bad for you. I ain't say what's perfect for you because ain't nothing perfect. But some stuff is good for you, but you can't see the good because you focus on the bad. Don't omit that. Ask God to show you what do you need to pluck out of your life, what do you need to continue. Listen, and when you get awareness of your person, you have the acknowledgement of the role of people, and you get the authorization. When you get awareness of your person, authorization of the role of people, and authorization of your purpose, who called you, who's going to lift you if you get crucified. Once you get that, you're ready to get started. And if God be for you, who could be against you? What you going to get started today? It's June 10th. What you going to start on for the rest of the year? A book? What you get started on? I'm starting on some more songs. What you get started on? What you working on? Where you going? Cleaning the house, fixing the house, training the kid, doing something for the summer with your children. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Reconcile a relationship. What is your new chapter for the next 6 months? A financial goal? Okay, I want to have this much money by December 31st. That's a good chapter. Let's get started. A fitness goal? What's your fitness goal? What are you gonna do? What you gonna do with your fitness, your health? You said you would seek therapy. What are you gonna get started on? Awareness of your person, acknowledgement of the role of people, authorization of your purpose. When you have those three things, like Paul did in Galatians 1, now you're ready to take off. You got your foundation, your launching pad. Now, ready, set, go. I appreciate you for tuning in today. You've been watching this episode of Morning Dew. As always, remember this: if you be good to God, then God will be good to you. Till next time, peace. Let's get started. Let's get started in here.